Y'all off the chain.
We live now, bro. We live. I am live with two of my favorite people. Welcome to another Oakland Joy Chats with, oh my God, two of my favorite people. Mike Johnson, I love you to death, bro. I swear to God, bro.
I love you too, brother.
Mike is still a character, man.
I'm a character.
So, just real. How's everybody been, man? Hub, let's start with you, bro. I go first. How we been together, man? How you been?
Man, I've been good, man. I really have been good, man. I'm just blessed. Beautiful family. Beautiful wife. Once again, I gotta get right. Yeah, but no, man, I've been great, man. I have no complaints. I'm loving life, man. Loving it.
But man, it's been a minute since we all was on together. We listen, y'all out there. We've been talking about getting a consistent time. We working on it. People got busy schedules. You know what I'm saying? And we want to support our superstar friend Rob too. So you know what I'm saying. I'm very proud of what Rob is doing. I think he just said he had an 8,000 person group or whatever. So thank you, Rob, for being a part of the video.
Yeah, hey, let me tell y'all this too. This is just happened to me. My athletic director called me and said that they wanted me on a committee, for the NCS, that make rules.
Workout section.
Yeah, to represent the BVAL. So that's huge too, man.
That's what's up.
So yeah,
what that is, brother. You gotta tell them what the BVA is. The Bay.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, NCS is North Coast section. They govern all the schools in Northern California. And the CIF is California International, I believe, Federation, but they govern whole state of California when it comes to sports. So I'll be going, just to meet and to be on the board and decide different decisions when it comes to sports, football in particular, and alignments of leagues and different rules that govern the league. So that's pretty big, man. So that's one thing that's happened to me recently. I don't know why they chose me.
But you that dude.
And I don't know if but I'm excited, man. I'll go in humbly, just to kind of feel my way around, and then I'll make some noise, man. But that's a new opportunity. And then, like you said, we've grown to my Black coaches group. We've grown to about 8,000 people so far. So yeah, man.
It's just a subtle flex. It's nothing. It's not. It's mid. It's mid. I'm just out here. Ain't looking for it.
There's 3 other brothers too that's doing it with me, so I don't want to make it seem like it's just me. It's 3 other brothers.
It's all good. Yeah. Mike, how you been since the last time we saw each other, brother? You came to Oakland, you didn't tell nobody.
Nah, it was. I ain't had no time. I was trying to see Jeff, but
you had time to go downtown and shopping.
He sure did. He had time to go to the Periscope.
No, that was matter of fact. To be honest with you, I was trying to get on the plane at 4. I saw Fab around like 2:00. Like I was like downtown. My wife wanted to go to Lake Mary. They had like some type of Black Lives Matter thing. I was on Broadway. I was on.
You just missed your flight. How'd that work?
Huh? What's up?
You just missed your flight? You had to be at the airport.
No. I was, the freeway right there. You know what I'm saying? So I just, talked to Fab real quick for about 30 minutes or so. Got on the plane. It was kind of a fluke, to be honest with you.
That's what's up, man.
At the time. But I had seen my mom and my sister and stuff.
How long was you here?
For like a couple of days. But I'll be back. Because I want to, see everybody.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, it'd be good to see you, Mike, man.
Yeah, definitely. You know how it goes when you got the wife. It's kind of like you doing stuff.
I don't. I actually have no idea how it goes. Not even a little bit. So
I can't wait to see Charles. Not to bring no drama, but I can't wait to see Charles and Mike get down on the basketball.
I would have. I saw here. I would have.
I saw that. Hey, I saw the last show, Steph Curry. I saw the last show. You say you was like Steph Curry before Steph Curry? You and your man?
I ain't say nothing about me being like Steph Curry.
Man, I watched the show, G. I was just
Who said Steph Curry? Who said Steph Curry?
It's cool.
Oh, dude.
But it's all good.
I mean, if listen, bro, I'm not backing up.
I'm just messing with you, G.
Okay, I'm just letting you know. See, yeah, Rob's supposed to be. Rob started that shit. It's going good though, because I'm not backing down.
All in love, all in
Nah,
love.
it's all good. We gonna do it. We gonna do it.
That's what's up, man.
I know you guys' schedules be busy.
What's up, Jeff? Jeff, you can hop on again too. Jeff is good for the show. I love having Jeff on. Jeff, if you want to hop on,
Yeah.
get me in.
Matter of fact, when I was there, I was trying to get with Jeff, but I couldn't because he had to work that day on the Saturday, and I was supposed to be there Sunday, but schedule changed. My wife was like, "We're gonna have to come back, do some other stuff."
Mike, I love you, bro. You just be giving up information. He just
man. My bad, man. You know,
Get it all up.
I'm just not even used to this. I just be real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so we robbed the bank. I mean, we all talked about robbing the bank, and then like
if I did rob a bank, they ain't finna catch me.
That's Rob. Mike, just stop. Mike, it's good to see you though. You look good, brother. You know what I'm saying? It's actually been a lot has actually happened since I've seen you brothers lately, man.
Speak on it.
Huh?
I said, speak on it.
It was a mentor of mine at the hospital that got the former president. He passed away. He had been battling cancer. I was we knew it was coming. I'm happy for him. And then that same day, somebody that used to organize with me when I was organizing in West Oakland and trying to support schools, and she got into organizing. She's 40, man, with kids, and she had an aneurysm that same day and passed away.
Wow.
And I'm an Oakland boy, but I was born in Chicago, and Chicago had a wild weekend. It was a lot that went down out there. It's just been a lot, you know what I'm saying? But I was looking when I hit y'all, I was like, yo, like, let's try to get a regular day. But I'm like, yo, we need this session because I build a lot of content and I love it, but it's all very like, I produce it, I research it. It's like education. It's like my word. And it's just like, I'm just kicking it. And we're gonna show some love. And I wanted to talk this topic with y'all. Jeff, if you want to hop on, man, let me know, and I'll shoot you the link in your I'm just gonna shoot him the damn link anyway. I'll shoot you the link in your DMs or whatever. But the question I have for y'all, man, I was just curious because just this whole surviving versus thriving thing, right? Like, I feel like this is where we grew up and like how we grew up and like, the things that we learned or whatever the case is and like in surviving and just, I mean, none of us was really out in it. We was like actually really good kids, like to be really real with it, right? And I just noticed that in this field that I'm in, like these people acting like I was like a damn mafioso. It's like I stayed out of trouble. Like it's tough because the type of work I do and the access I got, it's like people like scared me. You know what I'm saying? It's like I had like a 3.8. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know.
We were like some nerds, right? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but it bothers me because in that type of work, it's like, yo, if you afraid of me, like if you got an issue with me, you really ain't down to be working with black and brown kids. Like you really not like about that life. And it was just and I was just talking about this whole survival versus thriving thing, and I look at surviving as like, when you just trying to make it, you don't know how bills gonna get paid, you doing whatever you got to do. But I think that the three of us are in a different part in our lives where we trying to like move beyond that, not super stressed about the bills and just like thriving and being happy. Our talks are about joy and happiness and whatnot. And I was just really interested and curious from y'all and what y'all thought. One of y'all got an echo. I don't know which one it is, but it's all good. It ain't that bad. I'll figure it out. But Mike, let me start with you, Mike. What give me your thoughts on this whole surviving versus thriving thing.
Surviving versus thriving. I mean, I think a lot of people just kind of stress, and sometimes you gotta like let go of stuff. You gotta let go of people that's not cool with you. You gotta just do different things like that. So I just feel like we gotta get off this surviving mode and get to the thriving, because it gets to a point where, like you going to work every day and you worrying about this, worrying about that. You just got to make some stuff happen for yourself. You just got to do some different things so you can expand, increase, and be free, really free. That's what it's all about.
What that mean to you, bro? Like, you know, and just the difference. I mean, hell, do you ever feel like you was ever in survival mode? Because I feel, and I'm not saying this just necessarily from a financial standpoint, like,
Yeah.
but you've always had this kind of calm and peace about you. Like, you're not as angsty as like as I am, right? So, you know, we all are, for as older as we are pretty similar to how we was when we was 15. So, what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, when you say surviving versus thriving, the first thing I think about is financially, but I think surviving, if I think deeper about it, and I feel like I could talk about this for an hour, but I'll make it short. I'll give the Cliff Notes.
Go ahead. We got time. No, we got time.
Go ahead.
Hey, for the rest of my life, man, I got to attribute knowing Cliff Notes from my brother Charles Cole, man. I never knew about Cliff Notes, but I'll give you guys the Cliff Notes version, man. I think it's about mindset, you know? First of all, I think if you want to be a person that's thriving, you got to set goals and you got to have goals. And you got to want to be great at whatever you do. That could be like, you know, even if you work at McDonald's, you know, you should try to want to be groundbreaking at working at McDonald's. Be somebody that a lot of people will remember, you know, make yourself memorable. You know, when I go through the drive-thru, I remember that person. Man, I remember that lady that was at, you know, in the drive-thru. So I think just thriving and living in the moment. Hey, y'all, back in the day, let me tell y'all this, because there's so many things going through my mind. You guys remember Rashayla Brooks?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll never forget this. I think everybody was talking about their goals and what they want to be in life and blah, blah, blah. And I remember asking Rashayla, and I got offended by her answer, but it stuck with me for life. I asked her, I was like, what do you want to do? Like when you get older, like, what do you want to be in life? And Rashayla was like, well, I just want to live every day to the fullest. And I was like, what? That's a horrible answer. Like, I was like offended by it. But as I get older, you know, I can really appreciate it. It's like, you got to really live every day to the fullest, like really enjoy today, because, you know, years from now, you're gonna be like, man, that was the good old days. So if you just really enjoy every day, you'll be thriving, man. You won't be surviving. But if you have the type of mentality where it's like, oh man, I'm in elementary school, I can't wait to get to middle school. Then you're in middle school, I can't wait to get to high school. Then you're in high school, oh, I can't wait to be an adult. Then you become an adult, oh, I can't wait till I retire. Then you'll miss out on life, man. That, to me, that's kind of surviving. So I think just living in the moment, having goals, knocking out some of those goals, being memorable, to me, that's thriving, and kind of just not living in the moment and always thinking about the next move and kind of being depressed where you at right now. I think that's kind of the survival mode. So to me, it's more mindset.
That's interesting. I mean, I mean, I look at that. I think that, like, you know, I think I needed ambition to get out of where I came from. I mean, I think that, like, y'all didn't know me before Emory. Like, you didn't know the cat that went to 11 elementary schools or that lived in 4 shelters, right? So it's like, so for me, like, there's a level of determination of like, I'm not living like this. Like, I'm not doing it. And I'm gonna say this, like I said, as much as I am a positive dude right now, I'm never going back to the shelter. I listen, bro. I'm not gonna say too much. I'm never going back. Like, I'd rather die first. You feel me? I think that, but I think
let me say this, Charles. Let me interrupt you. I don't want you to think I'm saying be complacent, but what I'm saying is have goals, but enjoy the journey. You know, like enjoy each day as you go to reach those goals. Enjoy all those moments. You know, you hear people always say, enjoy the process. That's all I'm saying. Enjoy the process. That's why this is part of the Joy series. You know, we was part of the process, Charles, for you to get to where you at now. We have some memorable moments during some of those dog days. Because shoot, growing up, man, it wasn't easy for none of us, I'm pretty sure. Most definitely not for me, man. I had some real dog days. No mean to interrupt you, but I had to correct you. I'm not saying be complacent, but what I'm saying is within those goals, wanting to be great and want to do great things, want to be memorable. Enjoy the process. Enjoy every single moment, because you're gonna look back and be like, them was the good old days.
I mean, I think there's a lot of stuff that I enjoy. I look back and, you know what I'm saying, I think the way that I even split my work up, right? People be like, yo, you gonna take a vacation? Well, it's like, well, I travel for work, right? So when I travel, I make sure I'm booking places that I want to like spend time in, right? So, yeah, I want to get at talking Miami, and I'm gonna stay a few extra days and enjoy Miami. I guess what I'm saying is I think that like you also got to be intentional, and because there's a lot of people that said that, and and she's different, you know what I'm saying? And I think that was actually a really mature answer. But we also got friends that didn't take life very seriously or live too in the moment. Like it's like, yo, this moment is gonna end at some point. And if you're not preparing yourself for like the next level, like I'm gonna use like my sister. My sister is a really good ball player, right? Like as far as like compared, you know, to me and her field, like she was a lot better. But when she got to college, it's like everybody's an all-star. Everybody is good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, people not just moving out the way for you. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not like really clear on your goals, I think that I don't know, man. I think some people just got different temperaments. So, what's up, Jeff?
Come on, y'all.
How you doing, man?
I'm living. I'm having fun, man.
That's what's up. See, doing what Hub said. Just came right in on cue. You know what I'm saying? Hub sent you that text.
More thriving than surviving right now.
This is what we talk. Yeah, we talking about surviving and thriving. And the reason I wanted to talk about it here again, because I talk about this stuff in a medical context, and I talk about it in the education context. But I really just wanted to talk about it with my friends and be like, yo, we was 3, now we 4. We 4 black men. Grew up in Oakland, went to school together, seen a lot of stuff, and are doing decent in life, right? Like, so from surviving and thriving, and I would even say that Jeff has a similar temperament to Hub, like in the sense of just like the cool one, kind of at peace, do their own thing, you know what I'm saying? So I'm really interested in your perspective on that. And not that I think Mike is really different or whatnot, but I'm just curious because y'all are intriguing cats. Like I couldn't be as calm as y'all, like if I tried, you know what I'm saying? So I'm really curious, Jeff, for you. And I know your parents and stuff. So a part of that is I know your pop. So a part of that is answered for me, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna let you jump in on that.
So the question is, what is it exactly?
Yeah, I guess it's like when we see this thing around surviving and thriving, right? So let me even give a bit more context for the people that's listening, right? So I have a coach, I got therapists, I got, it's just things that you got in your professional network. And my coach is like, I want you to practice living in abundance, right? Like you've worked hard, like you make decent bread. I'm poor for anybody that's paying. I ain't got no money, but like you do okay. You know what I'm saying? Like I want you to focus on living in abundance. And I think that he always is like, he just was like, yo, you strategize a lot and you thinking about the next thing a lot or whatever, right? So and it came back to the surviving versus thriving thing. So do you feel like at this point in your life, Jeff, that you are surviving or thriving, or do you feel like you go in and out of either?
I'll say I'm thriving, but I like to say that sometimes I'm surviving. I'm not where I want to be. That's part of it. That's why I'm my toughest critic. So sometimes I'm gonna say I'm surviving, but I'll say I'm thriving. I'll be realistic. I'm more thriving. I'm not really living off instinct and having a scratch and claw like most people are doing right now, and I'm fortunate enough for that. But yeah, I just think that thriving, you're living in the moment, loving the moment, and you're not really stressing during the moment. Surviving is like, you don't have to necessarily panic through, surviving, but it's, back against the wall, doing it because you have to do it, not because you love doing it. You know what I'm saying? So right now I'm doing what I'm doing and having fun doing it. I'm not doing it because I have to do it. So I think that's the difference between surviving and thriving for me. So yeah.
That makes sense. And your sister said you are definitely thriving. So, can't half step with Shay. You thriving. Hey, Shay, man. We can all just have this conversation. I was just curious. Because one day I'm gonna have to go to one of Hub's practices because I'm just really interested in like Hub the coach. You know what I'm saying? I seen you as a player. I'm interested in Hub the coach. We all gonna have to just pull up on you one day, bro, and just see how you doing, man. So
I would love that. Hey, it's the funny thing is a lot of the kids, it'd be interesting to see how they perceive me because a lot of the kids, I think it's just because when you're the head coach and you kind of carry yourself a certain way, some kids have a certain kind of respect for you. So you'll kind of see that respect and you'll be like, huh? But a lot of kids kind of like, I hate to say it, but kind of fear me, So that's one of the things that I try to do a better job of like showing them that, hey, man, I'm cool. Like, it's okay. But I think just my title and how serious I take football, because it's meant so much for me, man. It meant so much to me. I think a lot of the kids
but you feel like you always had that kind of respect? I mean, not fear, but like I think you've always been like, no, you always had notoriety in sports. Like, I mean, I don't know if there's ever a time in your life that you didn't.
Yeah, well, of course there was, right? I mean, I didn't wake up with a football helmet on. I had to.
But I mean, you talking about what, Pop Warner? You came into high school like, and it was all like, hub here. Like, that's different.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I think a lot of that is because I had, like Chicken was one of my good friends, and I had some good friends. I was kind of spreading the word, kind of hyping me up a little bit. But yeah, no, I had to work to get to there eventually. But the biggest thing I'm saying though is the kids see me totally like they would think I'm like a mean guy, They think I'm this tough, hard-nosed guy if you talk to one of my kids, which I'm really not, man. I'm really cool and chill. So I would love for you guys to come and see it because it's a totally different dynamic.
Jeff, go ahead. You was about to jump in. Y'all can just jump in. I just was curious. Y'all answer my question. I was just curious. We can just talk about whatever now.
Hey, Jeff threw a bombshell last time before we got off of this. Before we got off?
I don't remember. What did he say?
Do you remember?
I don't.
He was like, even though
I know me and Jeff have switched hair. I know I have hair now and he doesn't. He has waves now.
Jeff, we was exiting and he was like, even though Hub blocked me on Facebook, and then it was,
you gotta let that shit go.
I had to like, wait. So I had to publicly, Jeff, apologize for blocking you on Facebook. It was not personally towards you. Just know that, all right?
I understand. It's all good.
If we want to have a discussion about that, we can go into depths about. Like I said, I'm gonna use this once again. The Cliff Notes version is sometimes when you're in a complicated relationship with somebody, and you're trying to resolve it, and you're trying to maybe even get rid of it or extinguish it. Sometimes, man, you got to kind of like figure out where the fires is coming from.
I'm gonna put you on by yourself. There you go.
Yeah, sometimes you got to try to figure out where the fires are coming from, and you don't even know where they're coming from. So unfortunately, man, you might even extinguish some places that the fire really isn't there, man. So that's kind of my explanation without giving specifics.
I really understood it, so it makes sense. I wouldn't have.
I had to block a lot of people that I really care about, which is really unfortunate. I really hope nobody ever had that situation where stuff started to unfold online. And I'm not the type of person that's like that. And I felt like, you wouldn't take it personal. And if we talked, it'd be all love. But it was just on social media. It was a lot that was happening, and such and such. Oh, I could access this through this person's page, and I could access it through this person's page. So I just had to man, I don't know who to delete. Let me block a whole bunch of people, and this way I'll be safe. And I can
me too, huh?
I didn't block you, y'all.
Should I feel some way that I didn't get blocked? Oh my God, what is going on?
But I did block Jeff. I forgot I did that actually. But it was
who blocks Jeff? Like who does?
So you gonna make me go into details, Charles?
I'm not gonna do like you did, Rob, and how you put me and her and how you put me and Mike against each other. But
y'all started that. I just think it's funny.
We Stanford. That's all love.
Nah, I mean, I was gonna say one thing about the experience I had when I was in high school about surviving. Like y'all didn't know, but for 1 year, I lived in a motel. I lived in a motel for about 1 year. Mm-hmm. Then nobody know.
Yeah.
Bo Depot talked to me about it last time. Me, him, and Jeffrey talked or whatever, and Bo Depot was saying it kind of changed his life as a teacher and stuff like that. And I thought that was interesting. because I was, I was an AB student or whatever, and I had did a paper or something, and I wrote it down, but I ain't had no computer at the time, and I told him I was like, I don't got no computer at the time. The lights go off at 12 o'clock and stuff like that. I talked to Maliba when I think we was in, I want to say we was in 11th grade.
Yeah.
But me, being a just competitor or whatever, I just kept my head forward and kept pushing, going to class, whatever, stuff like that. So, it's a lot of stuff that goes on, especially with high school kids and stuff like that. So that's one of the things I kind of deal with when I was young.
I mean, so do you feel like you surviving or thriving right now? Because I think I'm. Anyway, I'll say what I think after you go, Mike. But
no, you good.
Right now, well, the only reason I'm saying because I think I agree with what Jeff said. I think that you go into waves. I think there are parts of my life. So like my academic career, like, oh, yeah, I'm thriving, right? I'm at the highest level one can get as far as like I can't go any further, right? But I think that like, as an entrepreneur, as somebody who starts new businesses, as somebody who's building new things, I start at ground zero every new thing that I do. So when I wrote this book, it was like ground zero. And then, I didn't get an editor. I didn't get a publisher. So I did it on my own. But then I put together my own tour or whatever, right? And I'm about to go now working on book 2. And it's going to be, I got to start back from zero. I got to start back into that survivor space. I mean, but I thrive off of being hungry. Like I thrive off of like, I just thrive off people not thinking I can do something. Like, again, I don't do well when I'm really good at something, right? So when I should have kept debating. I was the best. I won, right? Like, if I would have kept going, college would have been paid for, right? But in basketball, I was never the best. I was good, but I liked, like you said, I did enjoy the process. I love practicing. I love watching tape. I can't coach high school right now because I'd want to play. And kids don't really care about, like, I'm at Emory all the time. Like I have like I brought my program up there, and one of my kids is on the team. He just bopped for the first time a few weeks ago. And he was juiced, and I was just like, he was at my meeting. I'm like, oh, don't you all got a game? He's like, yeah, but I'll be all right. I'll get there. Like, what you mean? Like, it's game day. Like I don't do anything else on game day, right? Like,
hey, Charles, and this is what makes you old and similar to me as a coach, because it's like that's our expectations, like. That's not acceptable. What?
I mean, he's just like, it's just a game. And it's like, what? Like, what are you talking about? I mean, I don't know if that's old, bro. I think it's people that just like, I don't think you can always practice on your craft. I think you're a great coach, but I know you work on your craft of coach. Bruh, we can't get a date down because you doing your thing with your other coaches working on your craft. You know what I mean? It's like that's just who we are. Like, you want to be the best. I think there's people in this generation that still want to be the best, man. I want to be the best at everything I do. I want to smash everybody.
But you know what?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I think that approach comes from these kids takes a lot of pressure off themselves and it stress them out. So I believe that that's a healthy approach for them coming like that. But if that's the way of life, you can't approach it like that. But I mean, how serious are they towards that sport or whatever they're approaching?
Yeah, I don't know if it's generational, because I used to hate when the older folks used to say stuff about our generation, but I see it in my son. I see it in my stepdaughter. I see it in a lot of the players. It's like, I feel like I'm always preaching, like, be great, like, be amazing. Like, you should, like we gotta, like, my son he likes basketball. He's interested in basketball. Mm-hmm. We have a basketball court in the backyard that he begged to have. Like, the neighbors should be mad every night. He should be shooting this is me talking. He should be shooting 1,000 shots on that basket where a free throw, he should be able to shoot a free throw with his eyes closed. Like, he got access to I am a football coach at a high school. I can not right now, but I can open up this gym anytime, and he can go in there and put up 1,000 shots. We even got a rebounding machine for him. Like, if he want to be great, he have all the resources to be great. But I don't think he really want to be great. So it's hard. It's hard for me. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it's generational, but I see it a lot in this generation that, like, being great, being amazing. It's like, yeah. I'm having fun. Like, it's cool, I'm good, but I don't know if I want to be great, be the best. So I think we have that hunger, Charles. I don't know if everybody has that.
And I just, you know, we was in a moment, but we got a lot of people that are commenting real quick. So Shay is on here. I love that Shay is on here, Jeff. I just think that that's great. And Shay agrees with me. She said, yes, who does block? Who blocks Jeffrey, right? Trina, hey, how you doing? Toya, all the way from Philly. That's why I was asking you to make, because it's not just people in Oakland. So I was like, when you use them acronyms, like it's people from all over. You know what I'm saying? Danny from Detroit. Thank you for tuning in with us and chilling with us. I think these are your people, Mike. I think so, right? As you?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, Mike people, whatever. But thank y'all so much. Share it. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, I think just having these conversations, man, is like, I think it's good because people don't get to just see 4 black dudes just had these type of conversations or whatnot. I mean, but let's talk about greatness though, right? Like, I mean, like greatness means something to me. Like I want to be great at what if I'm not striving to be great, then I feel like I'm wasting my time unless there's a big bag at the end of it. But other than that, like I want to actually be great. But I'm telling you, bro, I love these kids. These kids was just chilling though. It was like before practice, and they still got. I think Greg is still one of the coaches up there. I'm like y'all just chilling before practice. Like ain't nobody like got no ball out. Like ain't nobody stretching. I just didn't. It's hard for me to understand. Like I miss basketball so much. Like listen, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. I get to do some pretty cool stuff in my life, right? I get to travel. I get to write. I get to meet some cool people. Like, you know what I'm saying? I would trade every single thing, bro, to like go back. Like, if I could go back to sophomore year of high school and just know everything that I know now about hoop or whatever, like I would trade all of that stuff. Like, I love to compete like that. I don't. And these kids are just like, all right, well, maybe I'll come to practice. I'll show up, whatever. I can't play. All right, cool. I'm gonna go see my girlfriend. I was like, bro, I don't know what the hell is happening right now. I have no idea what is going on right now. I didn't even go to the game, bro. I have not gone to a game. I couldn't do it.
I don't know what is it. Just I don't know, man. I hate to say it's generational, but like we just had that competitive spirit, you know. And then maybe Charles, we should probably stop talking because I don't know if it's just.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Is that you and Mike? Like for me, like I never forget. I used to watch the OGs play dominoes, and it was like everybody wanted to be the best on the domino table. Like it was all around me. Like you had to be you were striving to be the best. Period. It wasn't we just playing dominoes for fun. Nah, this is the best. I'm the dominologist. They called me the teacher. It was going down on the domino table. And the same thing on the hoop court, same thing in football. Like everybody really wanted to be the best. But maybe that was just being you, Charles. Like, for example, Charles is the best debater only if I'm not debating. You know what I mean? Like if I was,
that's not facts.
If I'm debating,
what did Mike say? What did you say, Michael?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. What did you say?
I was muted for a minute, so
you can unmute yourself too, Mike. It works. I promise you. What did you say?
I mute myself. I mute myself when I'm not speaking, so that it's no echo. We'll probably do the same thing. But Mike, no, wait, Mike, was you on? No, who team was Mike? Was Mike on somebody's team? No, he didn't go to the debate, did he?
Yeah, I did.
He went.
Matter of fact, the next year after Charles left, me and David, we won the whole championship. We won like a trophy tall as us. Senior year. That's why me and Mr. Davis was pretty cool because
three perfect rounds, brother. It was 3.
Nah, I mean. That's what's up. But we won the whole chip. I mean,
I did. No, I did too. Is what I'm saying. I won the first one, like ever. Anyway, see, why you keep getting me and Mike? Like
the point I'm making is we was competitive though. You know, that's the whole
point. You said was?
We still are. But I'm saying even as young men, we were super competitive because, like I said, Charles is the best debater, unless I'm debating too, you know.
No, but
I don't even know how them fools got like muted just now. I don't even know what just happened. Jeff, what was you saying, Jeffrey? What was you saying?
Hey, that's y'all conversation. Hey,
Nah, but Jeff, but even in this conversation, though, right? Jump in around, you know, because competitive. I mean, do you consider yourself competitive?
I do when I want to be. Like I say, when somebody doubts me, I'm more competitive then. When somebody says I can't, that's when I become more competitive. And the reason why I think that these kids nowadays are less competitive because they got too much access to some of this stuff, and it's oversaturated. And like we didn't have access to the gym all the time. We didn't have access to the NBA channels, or we didn't have access to all this stuff that everybody has. So it's like they they have to find a way to get away from it, to not let it take over them.
Yeah.
That's what I think. So I get it, but because my niece, man, she pisses me off. My niece, she has a lot of talent, and man, she doesn't want it. She's not hungry enough for me. You know what I'm saying? You can't push these kids because you're gonna end up driving them crazy. But you know, she has all the talent in the world. She's just not hungry enough, and maybe later it'll click. But she just doesn't have the killer instincts, and that she sure could have it. She's almost taller than me, and she's 14 years old. So it's just frustrating, just like just watching her just fall back. But you got to let the kids be them. You got to let them grow into their own. You got to let them figure it out, and just sit back and just compare and just relate, man. Just let them live.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I don't know. I mean, Hub was talking about this on the first show. He was talking about this with like his son. I mean, I've seen Will talk about this with his son, like at the court, and just listen, man. Even before Corona, kids ain't at basketball courts. Like when we was younger, you go to the court, and if you lost, you was about to sit. Like if you went to San Ramon and we lost one of them games, bro, you about to sit. Or you can go to the B court, right? Like, nah, I want to play these cats. And we used to go, and the cats from De La Salle would be there. The college cats would be there. I mean, I miss San Ramon. San Ramon was like, Markwood gets all the love, right? Because of the name. And you could tell when people not really from Oakland. But people went and hooped in San Ramon, bro. Like, because it was like in the middle. You had Stockton, Sac. You had San Francisco, Oakland. And like cat, if you lose, you waiting. But but you don't see kids playing football in the street either. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't see kids in the middle of the street playing football. You don't see throw up tackle. You don't see those things. I mean, and also hoop has just changed. It ain't really about what high school you go to or play at no more. You know what I'm saying? It's about which AAU team you run with. So I don't know, man. But I don't know, bro. I do think they talk about anxiety and all that stuff a lot more. I guess, bro. I don't know.
Hey, Jeff. Jeff was saying that we can't make them, and I was saying this to another parent too, and he kind of checked me. He was like, "Yes, you can. Right? You can make them. Like Jeff, you can make her." And now it's like I make my son do certain stuff because I didn't grow up with a dad, so I'm still kind of navigating like, what's this dad life about? You know what I mean? Like every day I'm kind of really brainstorming, maybe even overthinking stuff because I didn't have no dad. But when I was talking to these brothers, like, yeah, no, I make my son get up. He got to do it. And I'm like, you know what? It's something to that. It's like it's power in that. Even though we fear that they might kind of tap out or they'll get some strength behind it. So Jeff, man, don't feel like you can't make her. You can make her. She might appreciate it later.
Well, she just graduated. She's going to the 9th grade. In the 8th grade, she's allowed to discover herself, but 9th grade, if you're gonna be Cadillacing and not giving your all, just playing basketball and just giving you halfway, we're gonna take you away from that, man. You're gonna go all in on the education part, man. You're not about to be half stepping. So you either want it or you don't. That's what me and my sister job, and we're gonna force her to, hey, you better show that you want this, or we're gonna take it away. Because you got to put in work. You definitely have to.
I mean, y'all dad. I mean, Mike, let's bring you in as a pop. Like, I mean, I don't. What's your kid configuration? What you got?
My daughter oldest is 16. She in the a junior. My son is 13. My daughter youngest is 10.
Okay.
No, 11. Yeah, it could be, it could be a lot. Like you got, like for me, you got one kid that kind of listen, one that really connected with you, and the other one is kind of like either way. So you got to kind of balance it, kind of see what they like to do. My wife and I, we put our kids in like capoeira, do something different. I teach my son basketball. He kind of interested in it too a little bit. He did a little bit of football, a little bit of soccer, just kind of doing different things. But to be honest with you, it's a lot of people, a lot of kids is getting kidnapped, molested. You got that part out going out there right now. It's a lot of stuff going on in the world too. So
So
remember early,
you don't let your kids like take the bus nowhere, or like you don't let them like
take the bus. No.
What's wrong with the bus? That's what I'm saying. We took the bus everywhere. I was on the bus when I was 11. Bro, I lived in a shelter in San Francisco and took the Barton bus to go to Lafayette, bro. Like, what is y'all talking about?
That's a different time, though.
Oakland was worse then. What you mean? It was way worse. It was what? The 90s?
Yeah, but a lot of us did that, though. It's just a little different now. Huh?
It's better.
Nah, it's not. It's not better.
Bro, we went to school on San Pablo, bro. We went to school on the whole stroll. Like that. Like,
yeah, but it was open though. We wasn't getting shot at like from the police.
Bro, if you telling me that the streets is more dangerous now than when you was coming up and you smoking,
I am.
Bro. We published a newspaper every year that listed out every murder in Oakland. We ain't seen nothing like that in the last 10, 15 years. What you talking about?
Some of them numbers is created.
What the?
I'm just being honest with you. I used to work for the police review authority. I've seen a lot of stuff.
Bruh, so we just created 180 people shot in Oakland. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, it was bad. Hey, Mike, it was bad, especially around our high school years.
Yes.
It was really bad, man, in Oakland, man. It was horrible.
Look, I just put it like this. Like, I get what you're saying, Charles, and I understand about the numbers and everything, but a lot of kids don't have social. Like, they got this internet, and this internet be fooling kids. They think they can they don't know that you got to be social. You got to practice talking in person. They don't really do that. Like, when you ask them a question or whatever, they feel offended like you asked them. Like, they don't know how to express emotion positively. You know what I'm saying? I know back in the day, we had some little anger issues, especially in the street or whatever. When I played ball, I was talking shit, cussing at people. I could have got shot at a couple of times, to be honest with you. But
bruh, if you rode the 72 bus and went to the back of that bus, bro, it was pandemonium, bro. What do you?
It was crazy. I will say nowadays, I think they're exposed to a lot more. Like exposed to a lot more early. Like for example, one of my friends, his son, he looked in his son's phone. It's like if you could just imagine the type of stuff that the girls and guys are sending to each other now. It's like it's unimaginable, So I think now it's like access is crazy, but the streets was way more dangerous.
Way more, bro. Way more. And it's funny that you say that because Mike blew up the first damn episode talking about what he was doing in school. Remember, he was like, Mike, you tell that story of whatever you going through, bro. What are you talking about, bro?
Yeah, it was crazy, man.
Bro, when is the last? Ask any of y'all kids if they ever been walking in West Oakland and just heard them words that you ever want to hear when you by yourself. Hey, where you from? Your kids ain't never heard that ever.
Yeah, man. And I've seen a lot too, Mike. I've witnessed murders and all kind of stuff, man. So, it was bad. But we was out. We had to. I had to catch the bus to Emory. Like, I had no other choice. Like, my mom was at work. Yeah. I had to catch the bus.
Bro,
Legion.
Look, we played Spring League at the Legion and took the 72 through Richmond, bro, to go fucking hoop. And then you doing it with cats like Chicken and like, bro. And we used to be on that. But listen, bro, them bus rides, Oh my God, y'all are Jeff. You know what it is? This is what I will say though to both Hub and the mic before I throw it to Jeff. Y'all are parents, and I think it's different, right? I think that's why I'm like kind of listening to Hub a little bit more. But I get it as a parent. It's like, look, that's mine. That's my kid or whatever. So I don't give a damn if it's better or not, right? Like I'm keeping this kid safe, especially knowing what I know. But bruh, it is not. It is a fact, bruh. It's not even an opinion, bruh. Like Oakland streets was just way different. I was just in West Oak. I was in Acorn, bruh. Like the other night, it was like 9:30. It's white women jogging down Mandela, bruh. Like by the high rises, bruh. Like come on, man. That's different.
I will say that the difference is that we were built for this to handle society. These kids nowadays are more sheltered and cradled and coddled, and they haven't seen the struggle. I mean, they got the better side of things, and they can go and see things that they haven't seen on the internet, and it's just different, man. I'm not saying it's hard to say that we had it worse. We did, but they're not ready for it. They're not ready for. They couldn't handle what we can handle. They're not built for this. That's what I believe.
Mm-hmm. I got you.
I disagree with them. I think that we just gotta stop sheltering these kids. I think it was rougher then, but I do think they have access to a lot more. And Jeff, I never thought about what you were saying, way earlier about just the access that these kids have to, NBA TV and everything, man. You could just pull up everything on your phone. They got so much access, and we didn't have that kind of access. So when something came on, it was big. It was huge. If the Bulls was playing, that was huge. Like we had to check it out. Like it wasn't like we could just pull up a million videos of Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls like you can now. So
remember we had Allen Iverson domain back in the day. Jason Williams, looking at. We had a few people we can go to see actual moves that we could probably use or something. Nowadays, you can get it from everywhere.
Yeah, it's infinite now. So
you know what else? You know what we didn't have that they got though? We didn't have the internet telling us how to feel about everything. Like we didn't have, what I'm saying? Like, I think we're in a space where people will check social media before they give you their opinion on something. It's like, put your phone. I'll be working with my young people. I'll be like, put your phone down. Like, bruh, I'm asking you what you think. Like, I'm not asking you what IG think. I want to know what you think about this thing or whatever, right? I don't know. Listen, I think it's a beautiful thing that our kids get to experience life differently. I think that it's like they get to be freer kids. Like again, I don't think Jaden Smith don't get to be in Oakland being Jaden Smith. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be a rough day for him. If like I think those are free black kids that get to do whatever and their parents got some bread. Here's the other thing I do want to say though, because black men because I love y'all and I want to actually say this, Hub and Mike, and just to the other black dads out there, we got to kill that whole thing that black men ain't fathers to their kids or whatever the case is, because like even the people, the biggest thugs and cats that we went to school with is like great dads today. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like most of the people that we grew up with, for the most part, is like in their kids' lives, and I think that that's also a little bit different. Like I think how you was pointing out, Hub.
Yes, more than anything, that was like my number one thing, because I remember when my mom was married or whatever, and I was kind of close to her husband at the time. Then he left or whatever. It's a long story with that, but I always knew, like in my heart, like when I got older, I always wanted to be with my kids because I never knew my dad. I just found out about my dad like a couple of years ago or whatever, and I always wanted to be a part of my kids' life. I wanted to be around them. I wanted them to know me, everything about me, So that was like my number one thing. It was like my dream was to have a family before basketball, football, whatever. That was like number one, having a black family and representing. And that's what that was like one of my dreams. So
that makes sense.
That was real big.
Charles, you can help us kill that too, man. I'm not gonna go into more detail
about. What you talking about?
Both of you brothers can help kill that narrative.
I just helped kill the narrative. I'm the one who brought it up. I said it. That's the role.
You can physically contribute to it too, brother.
Why would you? Why do you? I thought you were my friend.
But I also feel like everybody play their position. Like Charles, he playing his position, you know, and I respect him for doing that, you know. Some people don't know what they want. So if they have a kid and they don't like the kid, you know, like, you know, let him play his position, and eventually he might get to that point. It's supposed to come off natural, you know, with somebody or whatever. So that's what, you know, that's my opinion about it.
Damien said instant gratification has a very real effect on our children. A lot of these children don't respect the knowledge and wisdom of the elders because they have Google.
That's real.
But is it though? Because we was kind of disrespectful too. I mean,
it's having an effect on everybody too, though. It's having an effect on me, man. It's having an effect on us too. Just that instant gratification, you know. We're I think just as people, man, we're kind of changing. You know, we back in the day, we couldn't just text. Like I couldn't just text somebody and expect them to give me a reply right away. You know, back like when we was in high school. But now it's like, shoot, we expect a reply like within if 5 minutes go by, it's like, hold on, like what's going on? You're not doing nothing. Like, why you not texting me back? So like we all got like an instant. We all want something right now. Like we really do, man. And that's just the society. That's where the society is growing. I mean, when you look at, you know, even food, fast food, like sometimes I just want to go get some fast food right now. Like, let's go, boom, give me the food, let's go.
But we did that too, bro. When they built KFC across the street, we was at KFC.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying all of it. I'm saying we're all growing to that. Like this brother Damien, he made a great point. He was saying how instant gratification, you know, is affecting our kids, and that's so true. But it's affecting us too, man. It's affecting the world. It's like we all want something to happen instantly.
I do have a question for the fathers on screen right now, Mike and Rob. So we were raised a little different, you know, back when we were coming up, you know, confrontation, we have to handle them ourselves. As a father, you see your son about to get in a fight. You let him fight, or do you know, make peace and say you shouldn't be fighting? Because, you know, back in the day, this is survival. And this is the way we're taught to, you know, defend ourselves. And it was just part of the streets and being raised. I know that it's a different day today, and you are more liable for what your kids do nowadays.
Exactly.
So, how do you parent? I don't know. I actually do.
You go ahead, bro.
When you know.
So to answer your question, if my kid was about to fight, I would stop him from fighting. To me, and I really feel this way. I don't see nobody wins in a fight. Like I really feel that way. Like if you're not getting paid to fight, if you're not who wins? Like if you knock this person out, like what you win? Like yeah, you like to me you don't win nothing in the long run. Now if somebody trying to harm you, you most definitely need to defend yourself. You need to make sure that you know everybody know that hey, I'm not the one to be playing with. But as far as like my son is gonna fight this son, like let's see this battle. I ain't got time for that. My son about to fight, I'm going there breaking it up. This is the end. Like we ain't got time to be fighting. We got so much more to do in life. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm at with it. Like the fighting stuff, I really don't have no tolerance for the fight. And I even, you know, as a coach, I have a no fighting policy. Like if you fight and you're a football team, you kicked off the team. If you're around the fight, you kicked off the team. Like I have zero tolerance.
Wait, so if they fight at practice, you gonna kick them off the team? Like that's where you're supposed to fight.
I disagree with that.
You never got to fight at practice?
Never.
Okay, there are fights around you at practice.
There were some fights, and I never agreed with it. Like I never understood it. Like
you ever got into a fight?
So especially I have, but I'm saying, especially with football, y'all. See, basketball is a little different. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to basketball, but contact is illegal. In football, your job is literally, especially when I grew up, your job was to put your face mask into somebody's chest or your face mask into somebody else's face mask. So what we need to fight about? Let's line up. Let's settle it.
That goes back to why the streets are more dangerous now than before. they're not able to handle the streets because they don't fight. I'm not saying they should, but they're not able to handle confrontation. You're not able to handle confrontation unless you're in it at some point. We were built for that. We were battle tested. If these kids aren't battle tested, these streets are more dangerous for them.
Yeah, no, if my son is back in the corner, yeah, man, I want to handle his business. But as far as like me being a dad and like, hey man, yeah, you gonna handle this, fight him, let's get it. Like I've never been on that hype just because I see it. A lot of times it can escalate to something bigger when it's not even that serious. Like I don't think my son will get anything from fighting.
Can I also say though, this is Oakland. Oakland is just different. Oakland has changed a whole lot, and so I still spend time now. I'm spending more time back in Chicago. I was born on the Chicago segregated. It's West side is black people and the South side is black people. So I grew up I was born on the West side, but I spend more time on the South side now. The South side of Chicago feels like Oakland in the 90s. I'm not even gonna hold you, bro. Like it's like them kids are still hungry. They still go and play ball. Like they still get it scrapping. And I mean, even if you go to like a high school game, like it's gonna suck because it was some good teams coming out there this year or whatever. But like they hungry because they trying to make it out of the South side of Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Oakland is not the same, bro. Oakland is like the second most expensive place to live in the country. That's why you ain't even got we ain't even got black neighborhoods in Oakland like we did before. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's different. Like, but these kids not hungry in the same way, bro. Oakland per capita, for Oakland to be so small, I don't think people realize how tiny Oakland is compared to New York, LA, and Chicago, right? Like, and for us to have as many pro athletes come out of Oakland, like the old Oakland, I just think it says a lot, man. Oakland has changed though. You don't got rid of, what Oakland kind of used to be. But I just don't want people to think that kids nowhere is like still got that dog in them, because they do. But like, it's super expensive to live here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't take $5 to the liquor store around here and get something decent, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, when I'm back in Chicago, bro, I had like $5, bro. I got some salami, some cheese, some chips, and all that stuff. They still got 25-cent bag of chips out there. We ain't got.
It's so much pride from people that's from Oakland that is crazy. Like, I would love to just like talk to people about Oakland. I don't know what it is. Like, people from Oakland have so much pride in being from Oakland. And I had to tell one of my brothers or one of my coaching brothers, I should call him, that, man, in a way, man, that's where we're from. But Oakland is different now, man. It's not Oakland.
Oakland don't exist no more. It's gone. It's dead.
It's not Oakland no more. It's not Oakland no more because this brother he's a diehard, somebody from Oakland, and he want to get back to Oakland. That's why he coaching Oakland. But to me, man, the total dynamics is totally different, man. And if you look at, dude, I'm not in Oakland, I'm in Antioch, man. And some of them same problems I was existing in Oakland is existing in Antioch. We kind of migrating out east nowadays, man, to where the suburbs were at. And you see a lot of those issues, man. So yeah, you're right, Charles. Oakland is. Oh, I'm sorry, but Oakland is.
Our Oakland is ancient Egypt. Like, it's gone.
It's done, man.
Like, and we can remember Cleopatra and the pharaohs, but they done shot them damn monuments' noses off. Like,
Oakland is done, man. The same Oakland is done, man. It's migrated to Antioch, Stockton, to eventually Brentwood and Oakley, man. It's everything.
I mean, yeah, I lived in Stockton. I mean, yeah, not even just there, like Vegas, right? Like, I mean, like out. Like, and I think that when you think about it, man, like it's like they don't even call it, like, when we grew up, bro, it was East Oakland, West Oakland, the lake, and the north, right? Like, now it's like that where we grew up, bro, it ain't even called North Oakland. It's Noby now, right? It's North Oakland, Berkeley, Emeryville area. I saw that, bro. I saw that. I said, "What's in Noby?" What? Somebody said, "I'm going to Noby." I said, what is that? Is that like a new restaurant? It's like, no.
I've heard of that. I'm in the middle of it.
Bro,
I never heard of that.
If you go down San Pablo, remember how, like, if you go to McDonald's, like in Berkeley or whatever, that little area, bro, they got signs up the same way they'll say Temescal or this or whatever. It'd be like, oh, this is the Noby, like, section of Oakland. Like, Like they don't. People in the East, they're like, oh, I live in Temescal, or I live in, it's like, what? Where?
Uptown.
Right, uptown. Like. You live in the Dubs? What's the Dubs? What are you talking about? What is that? Like, oh well, I don't know. It's different, but that ain't everywhere, bro. I think we just Oakland is just different because listen, bro, Oakland has some of the best weather in the world. You got some of the best food in the world now. And while it's expensive for us, it's not expensive if you're coming from New York or San Francisco or whatever, right? It's like, oh, I get this here. And then white folks ain't scared of black people no more, bro. They will call the police on your ass real quick. I went to go see Jeff for his birthday. I mean, he had a little get together, and it's like there was no parking. Like, never. Listen, bro. I lived with Jeff through college. Like, we was roommates. This is my best friend, bro. I have never in my life, since I learned how to drive, ever had problems finding parking at Jeff's house, bro. Ever. And Jeff lives like. I don't want to say his address or whatever, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like that was an area though, right? Like that used to be like an area. Now it's like, and I just saw some white folks just chilling, had their little dog out. I'm like, oh, okay, I feel you, dog.
It's different.
How's it feel being over there now? Because you still here. I mean, I'm still here too, but I live at the lake. I say this in my talks. It's a difference between having to live in Oakland and choosing to live in Oakland, right? Like, at this point in my life, I choose to live in Oakland. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to keep my place here, even when I go somewhere else. Yeah. But like, and like Jeff is choosing to live here now. You know what I'm saying? So how does it feel on your block, on your neighborhood, like watching it change?
It's tough, man. It's tough just knowing that the people around you, I mean, they really don't have an appreciation of. They really can't appreciate Oakland like I do, or we can. Back on like a few years ago, I got into it with a guy down the street. Gentrification is 101 right here. This guy, this parking is very terrible. It's so damn terrible that my mom was coming in from work one time and there's no parking. So the only thing she was left to do was park in the driveway covering up a sidewalk. And that was all was left out there. And sometimes my mom, she suffers from gout every now and then. But so she told me that this guy was bothering her. I'm just like, what? He kind of got at her for parking with the car stuck out like that. And I knew who it was, but I was like, nah, he just tripping. He ain't gonna say nothing else no more. And so the next morning, my mother had a ticket on her car because this white guy called the police on my mom. And I'm just like, what? And that guy said something to my mom the next day, talking about, I told you don't park there no more. He just moved here 2 years ago. So I said, oh, he got us messed up. So it was my day off. My mom showed me it was him right there. So I want to go talk to him. I was just like, listen here. We've been here for 30 years. I know the guy that lives right there, everywhere. I said, you don't want a problem with us. We could be an ally. No, you don't want this problem. You don't want to have a problem with, you don't want to have to worry about somebody coming to your door or some breaking it. You don't want those type of problems. We're all trying to survive here. If you have a problem, just ask appropriately. You know what I'm saying? Just have a conversation. You don't have to, this is not your town. And he replied, like, listen, what if I have to walk my dog in the middle of the street? What if something hits my dog? I'm just like, man, come on, man. I'm like, listen here. This is not what you want. I'm saying that in these words. I said, I'm going to let you slide right now, but listen, we don't do this snitching and stuff and calling the police on people. Before you can talk it out. I really wanted to do something to this guy, but we shook hands and whatever. He apologized, but I was like, man, let's not have this problem no more because the people around you protects my mom. A lot of people love my mom around here, and you don't want this type of problem messing with my mom. But it's like, come on, man. He moved away now. He's out of here. I don't know where he goes. But that's ridiculous. He didn't have to. He didn't want to. That was the first Karen. That was the first whatever Karen, whatever it was. That was probably like 5 years ago. And He really sat there and called the police because my mom was blocking the sidewalk. He couldn't walk straight through. That pissed me off. I really wanted to do something, but I mean, they feel entitled, man. They feel they got 911 ready, and they're not afraid to use it. They walk around the city like it's theirs, and
I mean, it's wild, bro. Hey, real quick, Mike, the echo is coming from you, Mike, out of your speakers or whatever. So just when you're not talking, just mute yourself. But
I'll turn it down. I figured it was.
It ain't every. I'm saying like it ain't everywhere. I just pulled up this thing. I mean, you know, and I got to get back there soon. Like this is like, you know, this weekend it was 87 people shot, right? Like 17 fatally, right? Like you can still find parking in that part, but I mean, even there, like Inglewood is that's like where Chief Keef and them from, like Derrick Rose or whatever. It's different over there, right? Like, but them white folks is buying them houses, but them houses $60,000, $70,000. They just waiting. They like, yo, we're gonna let them do whatever they doing. They not scared of the hood like that, bro. And I think that it's just you know, everybody looked at what happened with Brooklyn and Oakland. Brooklyn and Oakland, bro, is the two places where it's like that shift happened. I mean, look, y'all been to my house before. I think everybody but Hub. I don't think Hub ever came to my house because, you know, I don't know why Hub. It was too good for me. But like that house, right, was $140,000 when I lived there 20 years ago. That house right now is $850,000, bro. Without them doing anything to it. That house ain't that hard. It ain't that raw. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think these people's like, look, if I'm paying $900,000 for a home, I'm getting rid of all this. The little boy that be playing drugs at the lake, oh, you gotta go. You know what I'm saying? I mean, these people not listen, bro. When the first how shocked you was the first time you saw a white lady jogging in West Oakland after dark. It's like that, bro.
yes,
It's like that.
never would have.
Maybe it should be, but you know, better don't have to mean less black. That's all.
That is a powerful quote right there. Better don't have to mean less black. That could apply in everything, man. Like that needs to be. You should patent that one.
Real talk.
I definitely say it in talk. I definitely do. But yes, you have. But I mean, that's what it is. Since Mike not gonna mute himself, Mike, why don't you say something?
Yeah, Mike, you gotta mute yourself when you're not talking. Mute. There you go.
But no, not. But we just told you to talk, Mike. So like,
No, I was trying to fix his speaker so it won't be, you know, sounding crazy.
it's all good, man. It just be like that sometimes. Don't trip. But I mean, so Mike, tell me about Vegas. Tell me about where y'all at in Vegas. Like, do you feel weird with your kids not growing up? Where you like where you from? And then I got a story about that too. Like that makes me feel a little bit more empathy for my parents or whatever. But how does it feel raising your kids in Vegas when you grew up in Oakland?
I mean, it's different now. You know, the first like 7 years of their life, they lived in Chicago, so you know they got a foundation of the city, going to school and everything. You know, I just kind of want to put them in an area where they feel comfortable or whatever. But what I do is with the kids is I just take them to Oakland, take them to Chicago, Mississippi. So just trying to give them a different perspective. And, you know, I take them to Oakland and stuff, see my mom and grandma and stuff like that. So they've been around and doing different things. So.
What about you, Hub? What it feel like raising your boy outside of Oakland?
Shoot, I think like I was telling you, man, I'm trying to figure out this dad thing. It's a struggle every day, man. It really is. I think though, but living in, like I said, I think Antioch is transitioning to Oakland, so I don't want to make it seem like I'm living in these, you know, luxurious, you know, place. It get kind of crazy out here too in the suburbs, just outside of Oakland. So yeah, no, it's just a daily struggle. I think he's a lot.
Antioch is not the suburbs no more, bro. Antioch it ain't the suburbs.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Get it popping.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. So yeah, no, it's a daily struggle. It's a daily struggle. I think I tried to shelter him, and I think I sheltered him a little too much. So he kind of lacks that edge, that roughness, you know, which I think Jeff was kind of alluded to with his question earlier, just lacking that, being able to have that edge to you, being able to have that toughness to you, so that you can handle your business and defend yourself. But yeah, no, I think it's true. I think just being a parent is tough. I think just being a parent. Something I wanted to say though, Charles, just to piggyback on what you were saying. I don't remember the exact quote, but less black is not better, or something like that. I don't remember what is it? What did you say, my brother?
Better doesn't have to mean less black.
And I think we gotta. I think even as black people, we gotta really repeat that, and say that to ourselves, because I see that amongst us. I can just feel. I can feel the eyes or the stares from sometimes my own people as a black teacher or as a black coach, where they'll feel like, man, this guy is superior to this black teacher or to this black coach, So I think it's not just other races, man. It's our own people that we feel, man. If it's more black people there, then that place is inferior. And we see that in schools too. I mean, if you see a lot of black kids at a school, a lot of people will just automatically assume that those kids are inferior or that school is inferior. So it's not just other people, man. It's us, man. We got to see ourselves as valuable people, and we got to see value in us and realize that statement really is true. Be a black coach and be amazing. You know what I mean? Like, you can be a black teacher and be amazing. You can be anything, man. And still be amazing at it. But I think a lot of our own people doubt it too. So that accountability come with us too, man. I think that's
I was in this meeting, right? And somebody said that, I look at how I look, at my hair like this, my, whatever. And somebody introduced me. I just introduced myself as Charles, and they was like, "Oh no, that's Dr. Cole." And like, these motherfuckers laughed, right? Like they thought they was joking. And it's like, but in their mind, it was just like that. It didn't process. Like, it didn't, like, in their mind, it was like, is he a doctor, like Dr. Dre a doctor? Like, what do you mean? Like, like, no, motherfucker, I went to school for a lot of years. Like that kind of doctor, right? But I think the other thing too, and I was gonna say this made me appreciate my pops a little bit more, was we don't always like super get along, whatever, but like, my dad made that sacrifice of like, I never saw my dad hang out in Chicago until I was an adult. Like, my parents just happened to be in Chicago at the same time I was, on a fluke. And like, I saw him around like his people, like his friends, all my family, like in Chicago Heights or whatever. And it's like, oh snap. Like, I look at it and like, okay, me and homie didn't always get along, but he did the best he could with what he had, right? Because even with where Oakland was, it still wasn't Chicago. Like, it still wasn't like, I just showed you, what I'm saying, what that looked like on a weekend, right? And that's not the worst weekend that we've had, you know what I'm saying? And so I think you make those sacrifices. I think that Hub and Mike are making those sacrifices. I think Jeff will make whatever sacrifices he needs to make for it or whatever. But I think the other thing about being in Oakland, people that grew up in the Bay have never really been in like a black, like neighborhood. And what I mean by that is, it's like, it's all black, and not just like black homeowners too. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like dad's out in the front, like watering the grass. Like, Oakland has always been somewhat integrated. It's always been like a mixture. You see other people. Like, this is one of the neighborhoods, right? And I wanted to show y'all this because, like, look at this, bro. Like, it is 91% black, you know what I'm saying? Like, and 5% white. Like, so when you in a place like that, where it's like that type of numbers, you do see things a little bit differently. And it makes me, it does make me appreciate, like, I like being in black places. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like going to Atlanta. I like going to Chicago because you go to the Red Lobster, it's not the black Red Lobster. It's just everybody, the person that owns it is black. The person that owns the bank is black. The person that owns the supermarket is black. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? When the last time you went to a black-owned corner store? You know what I'm saying? Like, ever, right? And so I just think that, like, that's part of why I kind of grew up the way that I did, thinking like, yo, better don't have to mean less black. And like you said, Hub, until we actually believe that and like push that ourselves, you know what I'm saying? It's going to keep being what it is. And I think we got to stop chasing white folks. The reason why so many black folks ended up in Tracy, Stockton, Antioch, and Pittsburgh is because all the Negroes used to live in Oakland. And then they was like, oh, it's an open. I can get out there. I can do that. You know what I'm saying? And then them white folks could not wait for you to move to Pittsburgh and Stockton. Like we moved to Stockton. I graduated in Stockton. You know what I'm saying? And they came right back and took all their shit back. And it's like, oh, yeah. See, y'all didn't know what y'all was sitting on. Like it's so many people in West Oakland that got these Victorian houses that didn't know that they was sitting on $1 million, bruh. Like they didn't know they was sitting on $1 million. Like in North Oakland, like the house I grew up in, bruh. Like, but and them grandkids were selling them houses for, I got 230,000 cash for you. Now, if you poor your whole life and somebody show up at your door and like, come on, bro. How many of our friends wouldn't have took that deal, right? That's like 25, 26, you know what I'm saying? But they didn't know if they would have stayed in there for another 10 years, they house worth $1 million. I mean,
okay.
But Jeff, I think this is what separates you from a lot of us and a lot of people, right? I think that your parents have always been really smart and really like, they was always ahead of the curve, right? Like y'all got, you know what I'm saying? Like I've always admired the game from your dad and just like they was just smart to sit on that stuff. Because whenever they decide that they want to do something with it, like y'all have actual wealth that like will either y'all will sell, keep, or it'll be bequest to you. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. And we don't grow up with that kind of like information and knowledge. I didn't want to be long-winded, but I just wanted to make that point. Is like we got wealth if we actually look around and think about it, but we won't be having them conversations.
Yeah, definitely sitting on this thing. We're gonna definitely play this thing out. You know, we got to keep property in our names and be able to pass it down. We just land is the most popular thing around here. You know, money comes and goes. Like owning property is basically in a good territory is the way to go. Like you can always pass that down.
Mm-hmm.
You can always like let everything get bought up, then you're going to get rooted out.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you have something valuable or something somebody want, you'll always stay relevant. Period.
Fellas.
Yeah, I think it's about just having unlimited tap resources. I think that's what it's all about. Just what Jeff was talking about, having ownership, just having property, different areas. Like, you know, wherever you live, you should have some type of property, something so you can pass it down to your kids. And that's what I'm kind of focused on with my kids, kind of just telling them telling them about real estate. You know, they don't be listening, but eventually they'll get it, you know.
Do you own?
Yeah. I own everywhere I live.
Look, Mike was offended. He was like, yeah, I own, bro. What you mean? My bad, bro. You know what I'm saying?
No, you cool.
That's beautiful. I think that's good.
Yeah, I try to, you know, attain some, acquire it and stuff like that. Yeah. Everywhere I've lived, I've owned something, bought something.
Yeah, bro. I mean, that's what's up, man. Hub, go ahead and jump in there. I mean, what you think about that? And then I wanted to show y'all this other thing because people, I'm telling you, it's crazy. I tell people this, bro. They be looking at me like I got something growing out my forehead.
It makes me. I think I just love my people so much. It makes me think of the movie Black Panther. Like that movie was so powerful to me, man. Like to see us as elite, and I really see our people that way, man. I really wish that permeated through our whole culture and that we all believed in that, man. That Wakanda is not this fictional place, man. It's real. It's real, man. We are some amazing people. I was the advisor for the Black Student Union at Deer Valley for the first 5 years when I was there, and in the spring we would do an awards ceremony just for Black kids, man. All the Black kids that have above a 3.0 GPA. And it used to be packed, man. I used to be so excited. And I remember telling them, like, man, this is Wakanda. Like, we are saucy. Like, we are good people. We're smart. We educated. We're not talking about no basketball players tonight. We filled this whole arena up with Black kids that got above a 3.0. So I'm so excited about Black excellence, man. And Charles, that story, I wish I saw that growing up. because I didn't see that, man. I didn't see the black Red Lobster, not necessarily the black Red Lobster, but a brother owning it, or a brother owning the corner store, or a brother owning a lot of these different things. So to see that, man, you was ahead of the curve. And I think that's where the power lies, is just us seeing the true value of us as people, and realizing that, man, it's us that have the unique power, no matter where we at, even if we all transition to, Alamo, I mean, still all be there and make that place amazing. So that's my take on it.
I wanted to. So here's what I was talking about, and because people don't be believing me, they think that what I just said about the house price, they think that I'm like exaggerating. No, Zillow.com is a thing. This is the house. This is the house I grew up in. Oh, I missed that house. So many memories. Can't go into detail about them. But we moved in 2000. This is when we moved, right? Somebody got killed on our front steps, like right in front, not the steps, but like right in front of the house. My parents were like, it's time to go. Then they sold that house for $145,000. Not my parents. My parents didn't own it. The church owned it, right? This is how much this house costs right now, bro. Wait a second, bro. That house is worth $850,000 in 20 years, bro. You don't see nothing appreciates like that, bro. Like nothing appreciates. Like, again, what we consider the hood, where people wasn't wanting to go and touch or whatever the case is, bro. Like, if you own a house and you've been sitting in your house for 10 years, 15 years, and you in Oakland, don't sell it. Don't sell yourself cheap. Don't do it. And I just think that, like, and Zillow works with most any address in the country. You can put your address in and you can see the taxes, you can see how much it costs and how much it's worth. So once it gets appraised, it might change a little bit. So Jeff, you're looking at it, you can look up yours and see what they got you appraised as.
I'm already familiar. So I get calls once a month from somebody trying to buy the houses here and across the street. Real talk.
Really?
And they keep calling. They just keep calling to see if I change my mind.
Wouldn't you? I said, wouldn't you?
Yeah, so they call for my dad, or like, I'm like, well, he's not here, but I make decisions around here as well. So what's the issue? Well, we was wondering if you want to sell the property. I'm like, well, we don't want to sell, but I mean, since y'all keep calling, I mean, y'all really want it that bad? And I was like, well, yeah, we're very interested. I said, well, how interested? He said, well, just name a price. I said, well, shoot, give me 2.6. You can have them right now.
That's what I was gonna say. 2.6.
The price. I mean, I don't want to sell, but since y'all insist on keep calling, 2.6. That was a trick. I think I'll sell them.
I want to go back and buy my house so bad, right? But I'm not, like, I can't bring myself. I know what's in that house. I know it ain't worth that much. I mean, it is, because it is, right? You worth what you pay for it. But yeah. Bro, I went back. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna buy property in other parts of the country, and just, it's so cheap to buy in other places, bro. Like, I've shown you my house. I'm not gonna do that on here because we ain't got too good where you can do good in front of the hood like that. Like, I don't need people in my business like that. But I bought the house for $150,000. The mortgage is less than $1,100. Like, out the door, $7,000, bro. Like, this is what I'm saying. There are people that's listening. Listen up real quick, right? You can stay in Oakland. You can stay in your hood. You can stay wherever you want to stay. You can go to Detroit, Chicago. You can go to Kentucky. You can go to Texas. You can go to these places for less than $200,000 and get something nice and buy it and rent it out. Your mortgage is going to be like $900 to $1,200. You can keep, you know what I'm saying, keep doing what you need to do, put somebody in it. But that's how you start to build up some wealth, like, because it starts to appreciate. I bought that house less than a year ago. It's already appreciated, like maybe like 6 or 7, like, something cool, right? You know what I'm saying? And I just think that, but these are not conversations, right? These are not conversations that people are having. And Jeff, you seen the pictures of my house. You seen, it's like 3 bedrooms, like a basement. It's like, I have a full bar in my house that's finished, right? Like, and my house, my 3-bedroom house is cheaper than this apartment that I'm in, bro. If I left this apartment, I live across the street from the lake. Ain't no additions in this apartment. This shit old. It still got popcorn ceilings, bro. I hate popcorn ceilings, right? If I left and came back, bro, this house rent is this apartment is $2,800 for a 1 bedroom that I don't own. Bro, the Bay is shady, bro. Listen, it don't make sense. But the way that people in the Bay lose is because most people in the Bay have only been in the Bay, right? Like this is why you got to kind of get out and you got to see other places and go to other spots. You know what I'm saying? Because and Mike has lived everywhere. Mike's lived in my hometown. Mike's lived in Vegas. He's purchased in all those places. That don't mean you don't love Oakland. It just means that you're making some smart investments for your family and for your future, man. You ain't got to come out there, and you can still be here.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know, bro.
Hey, you can do good in your own hood.
Absolutely. Well, wait. Well, you can.
You can do good. You just got to have relationships. You got to have good relationships, healthy relationships, and you'll be fine, man. You can.
Well, I'm not saying it like that. What I am saying though, and Robert Kumbaya Hubbard, right? Like what I am saying is, like, what you still from here, bro. When people still struggling, when people still hungry and they hurting, dog. Like I'm not doing super great. I think the four of us are somewhat successful from where we came from, right? But we also know that like none of us likes to come off like we bragging or talking about stuff. So I'm not about to have that conversation with somebody that's still in it, that's still struggling, that's still grinding. You know what I'm saying? Like that's setting yourself up, bro. You making yourself a target. And listen, we just talked about how this new generation might not be with the shits, but ours is. You know what I'm saying? Like you will still get robbed. It will still happen, bro. I mean, look what happened to Pop Smoke, bro. Pop Smoke moved from New York to LA, bro. He went to LA. He living in gated communities, bro. He bought a big house. You know what I'm saying? And they thought he was shining a little too hard, and they ran up in that boy house and they killed him. You know what I'm saying? Like that just happened. Like Nipsey doing great things in his neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't like when they feel like you're showing up. So just because you're doing well don't mean you get stupid.
Yeah, no, that's true. I just had to kill that notion, man, that you can't do good in the hood.
That's what I didn't come back to Oakland, right?
Oakland is not Oakland no more. I'm in the hood. I'm in India. We already established it.
I'm giving you a hard time. Oh man,
let me tell you, what would you think? There's a lot of houses getting broken into in San Ramon. A lot of houses. Yeah. Like that's where people go to break into houses. So it ain't just Oakland, I mean, there's a lot of people, and you hear the bad stories too. You hear a lot of the bad stories in the hood, but there's a lot of stories, man, that look at Mr. Fab. We was just talking about Mr. Fab before. If it's Mr. Fab, shout out Mr. Fab. If he watching or if anybody watching, I started with the Fab, Mr. Fab and his Fab Four. Starring Mike Johnson.
No. Don't say that. That's not factual.
I know that's where the Fab.
No. I want to put it out there. It was Fab, Lorenzo, Theo, Zavala. That's Fab. I'm just going to put the facts out there.
You don't know
the original Fab. Shout out to them. But the point I'm making is,
I'm just messing.
Fab is still in the hood. He's still in the hood. He got a spot, in Oakland, and everything is cool. He's got great relationships with a lot of people, and a lot of people, he's endeared to a lot of people's hearts. So you can shine in the hood. Now, should you be boastful and bragging and all that stuff? No. So I think that's what you're getting at.
Listen, we all love art. Like, I'm in Oakland right now. Like, I'm not saying that like I'm afraid of my hood or whatever the case is. What I'm saying is I respect the rules that our hoods have instilled in us.
Yeah, you got to be humble.
Generation don't mean that you get to ignore those rules.
Yeah, you have to be humble and you got to be smart. Everywhere though, everywhere. Not just
you don't think Nipsey had good relationships and was ingrained in his community?
Yeah, man. I feel like that was a unfortunate situation and an isolated event. But no, you're right. I mean, that's why it was such an uproar when that situation happened, man. That's a super, super sad situation.
I mean,
but Yeah, I mean, you can have a debate on that whether you feel like he was doing too good in his hood. Was that a reason?
He's a hater. It only take one.
He's a hater, man. That's
It
really
only take one.
Yeah, that's really what it was, man. It was just
listen, bro. I'm dedicated to this place, right? Like I started a nonprofit to serve this place, right? And then expanded it to Chicago, and in 2 years, I'm gonna go to Kentucky, right? And I wanted to be in all those places, and I'm really most excited about going to Kentucky because at least Oakland and Chicago, people know where that is on the map. Don't nobody know where Paducah, Kentucky is unless you play football or basketball and you a prospect. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm looking forward to like opening up some stuff there. I love this place, bro. Like I spend my time, trying to support this place. All I'm saying, and I just don't want nobody to get it confused. But there are rules that we grew up understanding, and I don't think that we have outgrown those rules. That's real. I'm making. That's all.
Yeah, you're 100% correct. You're 100% correct. But like we was just saying earlier, I keep forgetting the quote, man. But just because you're black, what was the quote again? Spit it, Charles.
Better don't have to mean less black. Here, I got you.
Yeah, better don't have to mean less black, man. That's all I'm getting at. I think we just got to be careful. What you're saying is right, and there are certain rules in the hood and where you from, but better don't have to necessarily mean less black. And just because you in the black, predominantly black area, it don't mean that you can't be great or that you can't shine. You just gotta be smart about it.
Jamila said Hub is from Pittsburgh and ain't no butt to it, Hub.
We was just talking about haters, right? Wasn't we just talking? Everybody got haters. You gotta love the haters, man. What's up, Jamila? How you doing? Hope everything's good with you.
Jamila loves us. Jamila loves all of us. Let's go around and do some love and just show some love to some people real quick. And people, we trying to get a regular time so we can do this more, but we want to be supportive of our guy too. But we'll keep doing these as we can. But we appreciate y'all being supportive. Mike, let's start with you, man. Who you want to show love to, man, before we get up out of here?
Who I want to show love to? Definitely want to show love to my mom.
Okay.
My mom or whatever. She always texts me every day telling me she loves me and stuff like that. And I think that's one thing that I learned real quick, like growing up in Oakland. My mom was always protective over me. Like when I was little, I used to have to walk like 2 blocks ahead of my mom. Cause I used to go to school at Golden Gate, and I used to walk like 2 blocks ahead to pretend like I'm walking to school by myself. And my mom walking my sister to school. I thought that was interesting, but yeah, definitely want to shout out my mom. Definitely want to tell her I love her, stuff like that.
That's what's up, Mike. That's very sweet of you.
What about the Fab? Can he shout out?
Shout out the Fab.
We love Stan, bro. First off, because I don't want it's gonna sound crazy without context, Hub. So it's gonna sound
I know. Crazy.
Yeah. So Hub, why don't you give the context? Because I feel like it's gonna be funnier with Hub giving the context than I am. So
go ahead.
Worth being late for. Go ahead, Hub. What's the context of why we keep messing with Mike?
No, Charles, I'd rather you give the context, but it is hilarious. Or maybe we can do it together, Charles.
So here's the thing. Stan is all of Stan and Zimbabwe. Like these are all of our friends. But Mike is talking to us like we've never met these people.
We don't know who they are.
So real quick, Stan Fab, y'all know Miss Fab. Fab was like one of the biggest supporters of me the whole time I was doing my doctorate. Like he got like the first set of books. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was always pumping it up. Like I've been talking to him about this stuff, right? But like, so we trying to plan the show, and he like, well, we can get we're gonna get Noop. That's Stan's cousin, that's Fab's cousin, and and we like, yeah, bro, we know, like we all agree, but you wasn't there. You don't know the original four. It's like, bro, we know we was there.
Yeah, Mike said he was in the original Fab.
That's not what I said. Hold on. That's not what I said.
A lot of people don't know.
That's not what I said. Okay, I had a whole backdrop. Like it's a lot that went on from like 6th grade to like 12th grade. Like you guys came,
In
you
the
know,
ninth grade.
9th grade, but like I knew them, I knew them. I'm just talking about Fab and then people older than him, like the Armando Cole, stuff like that when we was younger. I had a different experience. That's all. I was just
I know
it's
him.
a whole story. I can't just talk about it in a
too.
sentence or two.
Hub
And I
probably
wasn't a part of the
knows
original Fab, okay?
but the point
It
is that
was Fab,
Hub
it
knows
was
Mondo better
Zimbabwe,
than all
it
of us.
was Renzo, and it was
We know.
okay, all right. I'm just putting that out there. I just want to keep it 100.
Jeff, bro, he was talking to us like we did not have no idea who these people were.
That's
Bro.
not what I was saying.
He gave us the history of.
I didn't give you no history. You
Where
added.
Fab came from. Don't
Talking
make
about there was a little group or whatever. I'm like, nigga, damn. There was no little group. God damn.
Hey, don't make you pull up the screen. I'll screenshot it, Mike. But he was down of the original Fab 4 or Fab 5. See, a lot of you guys. Let me give y'all this story real quick. At Emory High School, there was a group of really cool dudes, super cool. They were smooth.
They were. They absolutely were.
Zimbabwe Afro, like I swear it was like it seemed like a wig. It was the most perfect Afro that I've ever seen in my life.
Theo could always dress. Theo was always one of the best dressed.
There was just, I mean, Mike was light skinned, looked good, handsome dude. You had Mario, you had the hazel eyes.
These are the cool people.
Yeah, Mr. Fab dressed immaculate.
And then Mondo had cuss. He had his cuss thing going on.
And they was a part of this group called the Fab. And this is what Mike was trying to educate us on.
I wasn't trying to educate you. I was just talking about Zimbabwe. He wanted to come on the show. That was it. That's all.
We gotta get Zimbabwe on the show. Maybe he could tell us a little bit about, the Fab story.
All right. I just wanted to say this. Like when I was young, I was kind of shy, whatever. Fab kind of pulled me to the side. I spent a lot of time with him, in 9th grade, 10th grade or whatever, going to his house every day. He kind of gave me a lot of game. That's why I'm just saying, it's a lot of stuff, y'all don't know. Like he taught me a lot of stuff, so that's all I'm saying. Zimbabwe too, I'm just giving you my story a little bit.
I will say this. We're gonna show group love to that whole squad. I do think that there's a reason why Stan is Mr. Oakland. I think he's one of the best philanthropists we got. I think he puts into our community all the time. He's a multi-talented, he's a multi-platinum writer, producer, rapper. Like he's a superstar, and he's been a star. We knew, you could tell he was gonna be a star when we was younger. So this is all love, and this ain't got nothing to do with them. But it was Mike.
I know that. I know.
It was Michael in the chat, and we was like, bruh, like, yeah, just get them on. Like, it's cool. And you just kept wanting to explain. And we like,
no, that was
like, we know.
All right. I ain't
all.
going to explain myself.
So,
that was Rob. That was Rob talking about that little group. I'm like, damn, why they gotta be a little group?
Just stop. Hub, who you showing love to, Hub?
All right, I'm gonna let it go.
Go, Hub. Jesus.
Yeah.
Don't be dragging Jeff into this craziness. Go ahead.
Oh, man. No, that's awesome, man. This has been a great night. Man, you kind of put me on the spot. Who I'm showing love to? Well, let me start with my family, man. Start my wife, of course. Shout out to my wife. Gotta show love to my wife. I'm gonna copy Mike. Show love to my moms. I'm gonna give a shout out to Rashayla Brooks, man. I talked about her a little bit today. I don't know how she's doing, but hope everything's good with her. Because like I said, I remember her. I never forget that she was saying, man, live each day to the fullest. And that was her plan for life. And I was so annoyed by that answer. I'm like, what is that? Like, huh? But no, shout out to her. Shout out to Mr. Fab, man. I'm a huge Mr. Fab fan. I really am. Like, some of my favorite songs, period, is by him. So shout out to Mr. Fab and man, he brought up Armando Cole, man. Shout out to my brother Armando.
Big Cole.
AC, man. AC was the man in Emory High School, man. He's still a man. I love Armando Cole, man.
Don't y'all still battle on Madden? Don't y'all still have y'all little Madden games?
Ain't no battle, man. I beat up on him, man. But anyway, it's so much love, man. I love Armando Cole. Look up to him, man. So shout out to Armando Cole. And then shoot, everybody else that went to Little Emory High School, man, that's doing big things. Man, Emory High School is such a small school, but we had some great people there, man.
We did, man. We did. And I think
man.
we didn't have all the dynamics that like big schools have, so everybody kind of knew everybody. But I'm gonna show love. I'm gonna keep it on the coaches theme from last week. I talked to Sanja this week, and we actually were just checking it. We're peers now, right? Like in education space. So like we speak every now and then, and she heard about it. She saw the clip with Bo Depot, and it got her misty. And Jamila crying got her emotional and everything. So shout out to her, man. Miss Lowry is Mrs. Lowry, but Miss Fleming Lowry, and just the work that she's doing in education, the work she's doing with her daughters. Like I said, just balling out here, man. And I want to show her love, and I want to show love to Coach Cam. And part of the reason I want to show love to Coach Cam as my JV coach, man, is like Cam made, like, I love, and we was talking about this last time. Like Bo Depot was like my brother and like my favorite, man. Cam was like dad, you know what I'm saying? Like he was raising men, and he would like correct you, and you might catch one every now and then if you needed to, man. But I love that dude. He taught us how to be responsible and what it meant to be men. And God bless his soul, man. And who else I want to show some love to? It's been a lot of people that's been showing love here. David Birch. I think he's watched every episode that we've had for the most part, man. And just, I know you're gonna watch this, David, man. So I appreciate you, bruh. And you know, we probably didn't spend a lot of time together in high school, but after that, I will say everything that I've done, that dude has just been super supportive. For the most part, I will say the class that we went to school with is generally really supportive of each other. Like we really kind of are, and that's cool. So I just wanted to show some love. Zimbabwe, we definitely got to get you on. Oh, and shout out to Zimbabwe, bro. Zimbabwe makes movies. He's hella positive. He puts together the game between the community and the police every year. He's just a positive dude. And you know,
he always was, man. I always saw him that way.
Always. And we brought up Theo. I miss Theo, bro. Theo was always funny. Like I said, could always dress, man. And Omari, my bad. Omari hit me after the last show and was like, let me know, because he want to come on, right? So Omari, I got you, bro. I'm gonna make sure.
What's Omari?
Light skin Omari, that baseball Omari.
Yeah, Alexander.
Yeah. So he definitely wanted to come on.
Shout out David. I follow David on Facebook, man. He is hilarious. So watching you, I'll be following you.
He lives his best life. And Jeff, you get to take us out, man, and I just appreciate you, brothers. This is needed. Like I said, I had a rough week, so I needed y'all today. Go ahead, Jeff. Who you want to show some love to?
Well, I want to give a shout out to all the Black people out there surviving, thriving, all. You know, hard times right now. You know, we got to stay strong and support each other. I want to give a special shout out to my sister, Jasmine Castaneda, and my brother-in-law, Nick Castaneda. They keep good community around there, doing a good job with their kids, and, you know, bringing everybody, a lot of people from Emory together. You know, we got Jasmine and Nick have a lot of people, family coming over to the house and being supportive and, you know, being positive. And during this pandemic is really they really uplift everybody around them, and they're doing a great job. So yeah, that's who's on my mind right now. So
that's what's up. And Jamila said leave Mike alone. First off, we love Mike.
I appreciate that, Jamila. Appreciate that.
Mike did this to himself. Like
his cousin. That's why they cousins. That's why.
Is that what it is?
And their cousin.
Everybody related. Everybody related. Y'all, this has been another episode of Oakland Joy Chats, and again, I appreciate you, brother. You have no idea. It was a down week, man. Like I said, I had a lot of people die this week, like in different parts of my world too. You know what I'm saying? So this was good. Proud of each and every one of you, and I'm gonna close it out by giving a special shout out to Hub, and just because, you know, I know what Hub is doing with these coaches, and for four brothers to like put together this thing where coaches just get together and talk, and now it's at like 8,000 people. I mean, that's not easy to do. I actually do this. Like, this is actually something that I do and like for a living. So y'all doing something special, man. and I really, really hope that that our show comes back on Netflix because I can't wait so we can argue about it some more. Last Chance U? We love Hub and I love arguing about Last Chance U.
It's going to be Laney.
Laney.
Oh, this is going to be great.
But they might not even have a season, so we got to see, man. But because they would be shooting now. So, but anyway,
it's already shot.
Oh, they done.
Yeah. They're just gonna show it. It's already shot. Already.
We got to do like a thing after every episode, right?
Oh, I'm with it, man.
Okay, cool.
That's a coach I respect too. That's a coach. That was the coach at when we was.
Jeff and Mike, have y'all seen Last Chance U?
No, I haven't seen.
Have you ever seen it, Jeff?
No.
Oh, yeah, y'all would love it. I love it.
Coach Bean was at Skyline High School when Skyline High School was dominant in football when we was in high school. So he's a coach I look up to. So I'm gonna love this. I'm gonna love this season, man. And I got some kids too. I think a couple kids will be featured that I coached at Deer Valley High School. That's gonna be on the show.
And it's gonna be interesting because it's gonna be the first time it's out of the South. You know what I'm saying? So in football in the South, of course, in the South is just different than sports on the coast. So it's gonna be really interesting. And
it's
we
different.
But y'all be safe. Y'all be safe. And we'll see y'all next time. Peace.
All right.